So, episode 2 of Kono Naka, whatever the fuck, you know the title of the show. Obviously, if you're looking for it, you should know. But yeah, point is, it continues off where we last left off with this one witch-looking chick, and she's all like, "Oh, hey, Oni-chan or brother or whatever," and he's like, "Oh, so you're my sister?" And she's like, "Nah, look, I work at this at this freaking like cafe place, and we do this for a living, and it's a maid cafe and shit like that." And he's like, "Well, fuck, I got trolled again." So later, he's, I guess, going to get a refreshment when suddenly a ninja just kind of shows up and is like, "Don't move, bitch. Go to the fucking alley, or I'll stab you with this fucking like knife thing or whatever." So he's like, "Oh shit." So he goes, and it turns out it's this black hair dude, and he's like, "Yo, freaking, I see that like you're trying to find out who your sister is, and I worked for the company to like keep the identity and like other little scandals and shit secret, and I'm here to like pretty much help you out, I guess, or whatever. I have to stop this shit." So he's like, "Oh, okay, whatever, this Mr. X guy, you can just deal with your shit." So later he goes to school, and pretty much guess who's at school? Mr. X guy. He freaking transferred, and he's, of course, like the pretty boy or whatever. So he's just like, "Oh, hey, ladies." And of course, all the girls in the class, all the single ladies, like, "Oh my god, it's him." And he has, I guess he's ballsy enough to go up to some chick and just be like, "Hey, bitch, I want your chair. I want your seat." And she's like, "Oh, yes, yeah, here, sit, here." So, yeah, pretty much gets to sit right in front of the shogo or whatever. So later, they're on the rooftop and pretty much discussing, like, "Oh shit, so what are you here for?" "Oh, I'm here to back you up. I'm here to make sure your sister doesn't succeed in whatever the hell she's trying to do." So then they're like, "Oh, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to find out who your sister is?" So he's like, "You know what? Just freaking like we'll have to get their saliva and we'll do a DNA test." And he's like, "How are we going to get them to like produce saliva or whatever and give me a DNA test?" And what better thing to do than drugs? Of course. Yeah, the best choice. And this guy doesn't even care. This Mr. X is just like, "Oh, yeah, fuck yeah, drugs. We'll do it right now. Yeah, we'll get them all." But whatever. Their conversations cut a little short because, of course, I guess Japanese girls can't let like bromances work in privacy, so they're all like hanging out the door. And he's like, "All right, well, we gotta bail." So later they go home in their little bromantic nest way, and they hold arms and all that shit. End up at his house, and Mr. X is like, "Oh, I gotta freaking shower to like remove the scent of my mysteriousness or whatever. I gotta make sure that like no one can know that I'm around, not even from scent for some reason." So he's all out. So he goes to take a shower in his shower and shit. So the Shogo guy, he's like, "Oh wait, I didn't give him a towel. How's he gonna dry himself off? Oh shit, man, I better go give him a towel." And so he goes in. He's like, "You know what? Here's a towel." And then guess what? Yeah, it's a chick. Who would have guessed? Nah, man, a girl dressing up like a guy in an anime? What? That can't be. But yeah, and he pretty much just, well, freaks out because, well, hell, he's looking at a naked chick. But better get used to that because this is a harem, buddy. It's gonna happen all the time. So later, this Miss, I guess Mrs. Mystery or whatever, or Mister, that'd be weird. Anyway, she's like, "Oh hey, yeah, I have to remove the scent on my body and stuff, and so I freaking hang out naked and shit, and I'm just gonna hang out naked, and yeah, you're gonna have to deal with it." And yeah, it pretty much tells him that like I guess she was hiding the fact that she's a girl, or the company hid the fact. I don't know, whatever. So anyway, later they have this ballroom dance thing, and our main dude's apparently waiting there because he invited the black hair chick or whatever. But then, yeah, so they enter the ballroom dance. They're pretty much hanging out, dancing and shit. And the dance girl is like, I guess the lights go out, and then the club president chick's there, and she's like, "Yo, hey, everyone, freaking dance, have a great time, blah, blah, blah." But then pretty much her party is shut down because, well, the blonde chick's like, "You know what? No, fuck that. I ain't having none of this. None of this freaking, like, dance party club shit. None of that shit. Mm-mm." So, yeah, it turns that shit off. And, of course, everyone gets to do what they want to do. Have a ballroom dance, of course. Oh, how fancy. How proper or whatever. But then, so apparently the Shugo guy is a pretty good ballroom dancer and dances with the black-haired chick, or Kanoe or whatever. And everyone's like, whoa, amazing, and claps. So then the blonde girl's like, oh man, like every other girl's like, oh shit, you're pretty good at that. And then the blonde girl's like, oh man, pretty good, but I'm better, like bring it on. And he's like, oh, you know what, challenge accepted. So she's pulling out all the stuff. She's fucking like busting out this little like sexy knee thing, like, oh yeah, you see, can't handle that, huh? And he's like, oh, fucking, I gotta go man mode. So he starts doing this shit, and she's like, oh, the legendary dolphin, which I guess is something or whatever. And yeah, so she loses her shit. Everyone else is like, oh man, the legendary dolphin, how exquisite. And then he pretty much just owns her ass, freaking finishes the fight or whatever, and is like, claims his prize. Everyone's like shocked. So then she gets pissed and beats his ass. So yeah, after that he goes outside, finds out Miyabi's been outside because no one invited her. She didn't get to dance or whatever. So she's all like, oh man, whatever. And he's like, you know what? Let's fuck it. Let's dance. Like shit, I just did the legendary dolphin. Like fuck it, I could do whatever tonight. So they dance. So the Kanoe girl's looking for him inside the ballroom, and she's like, yo, lolly teacher, like, where have you seen this guy or whatever? But lolly teacher's too busy stuffing her face because, like, well, like all little lolly characters in fucking shows, they can eat like fucking trash compactors or fucking garbage destroyers. They'll just fucking destroy food. But whatever. Then you go back outside, you find Miyabi dancing with Shugo, he's fucking schooling her, and then he uses his force powers or whatever to fucking destroy the bow or whatever on her dress. And yeah, so fucking flashing him or whatever. So what's the best response? What's the best way to hide that? Well, just clench the guy's body and fucking smush your boobs against him. Yeah, why not just hide them that way? So he's freaking the fuck out, but eventually Kanoe comes, pretty much helps him, fixes the bow, and shit's, I guess, alright. Whatever. So then he goes home, gets a mysterious phone call, and again, it's that fucking sister trolling him on the phone saying like, oh, I was near you today. I was there. I was with you. So now he's like, oh shit, then who the fuck was it? So that's pretty much the end, I guess. Like after that, it's pretty much just a little fan service mode of Miyabi or whatever. And yeah, and then of course the little hint at like, oh wait, there's this red toy. Wait, he got one of those when he got the birthday cake, or when he referenced like some other freaking show or some shit like that. So he's like, oh shit. So yeah, they're pretty much trying to hint that Miyabi is his sister or whatever. But it's like, come on, the show's getting really ridiculous. They're showing a lot of stuff. They tried to like push things towards people. There's all these chicks that want his attention, so it's like, come on. But whatever, still it's a good show, and shit keeps going. Like it's keeping the standard harem flow, I guess. So yeah, well, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Again, if you like it, like it. Want more, subscribe. And yeah, so later. Thanks for watching.